And welcome to Bex-Survivor. If you're a member of my channel, you'll know I am a bugger for losing some of my tent pegs, and some of them are very expensive. A long time ago I came up with a system. I can tie a loop in that Dyneema cordage and put a clip on the end of my peg and peg it in. So that way, every time I pack up, even pulled out the ground, it is always pre-connected and I do not remove the peg from the line. The two most quoted complaints I get in my comments, if people see me keeping my pegs attached to the lines attached to my tarp, is that will tangle. Maybe sometime in the past that person who was writing that comment had the same idea as me, to keep the stakes connected to the line connected to the tarp, and they haven't had good success. Why? Yes, it tangled, so they never did it again. They separated the pegs from the line on the tarp and never did it again. That problem existed for that person. They then automatically assume that the same problem will exist for everyone, just because they didn't know one little trick that's going to prevent the pins tangling on very fine cordage connected to your tarp. So it's the trick you need to learn, and once you know the trick, I'll explain the reasoning and the logic and you'll see it for yourself. So first of all, I want to do this with my basher and the jungle knots, and I've positioned the camera in such a way that you should be able to see both trees that I'm going to connect to. All I've done is roll up my basher last time I was here and then put it away. No special technique. Now, to make sure that you are happy with the shot you're seeing, I'm not going to move the camera. Let me just clip my mic on. So usually when I edit, I will edit between switching cameras. I want to do this with one camera in one take, and then I'll have to move the camera in. You're coming with me to have a look if jungle knots are going to tangle. So I'll get you close. This is my MTP basher and it has jungle knots and the stakes are pre-connected. So let's have a look at these pre-connected stakes here. Now the perimeter are all on jungle knots that are the traditional jungle knots, and I've made some jungle knots as well that are a reinvented version of jungle knots. As you can see, this is one take. I'm just going to drag everything, even the pegs, everything. Let's get it around this tree. Hopefully I don't snag anywhere. Don't want to rip my basher, but they're pretty tough. Okay, I'm going to guess it's going to go somewhere here. There you go. Let's get this side up. Look how quick jungle knots go up. I'll do it as quick as I can. This is my new technique. My new reinvented technique. Haven't touched anything other than putting that up. Like I just said, I usually edit now between different cameras. I'm just going to take this one over here. So you're coming with me to prove there's no tomfoolery. Let's put you down there and angle you down. Can you see all of that? Yes, you can. Let's go to the back too and see how badly these are knotted up. Well, they're not knotted up at all. There's the left, there's the right. The middle one there. And the other end here, are these knotted? Even though I've got the stakes pre-connected. No, there's the left, there's the right. Nothing here is tangled. Let's take it down. There's no special technique either to taking it down, or packing it away, should I say. All I do is try and keep you in shot here. I don't want to be accused of green screening like Disney or something. What you're seeing is what you're getting, by the way. And I still get comments such as, yeah, but that won't work, it'll tangle. I'm thinking, you just bloody seen it on camera. No, don't be such an idiot. But still they'll think it, still they'll say it, because some people have preconceived notions of what is the likelihood of its occurrence. And until you see it with your own eyes, you're not going to believe it. Now, this is not a new technique by any means, keeping your stakes on the line and then connecting it to either your basher or your tarp. Well, a basher in particular, because it's originally an army technique. Some lads started keeping their pegs together or the stakes with the bungees, and that never really worked for me. I do prefer the jungle knot method. You can roll it any old size you want, by the way. Okay, there you go. Nothing tangled. But you might think, yeah, but you're using a paracord, and of course paracord is thicker than a Dyneema. You might be thinking, I tried that, but I had a single line of Dyneema, very thin. I had titanium pins and I had a silk poly. It won't work with that. Might work with that, you'll be thinking. And I'll be saying, well, you're thinking wrong. So now, same kind of experiment. I'm going to get my sill tarp. Hope it's going to actually be long enough. I'm not sure if I've got 4 meters. Hang on. 1, 2, 3. Bang on 4. Bang on 4. I've got no room for margin here. Might have to use different trees. Maybe these two. Try with these first. Once again, same angle. No trickery. Same thing. Reconnect my mic and take my glasses off. This is all the stuff I'm doing now, which is always behind the scenes. You would never see me connect my mic and take my glasses off, and that would always be edited out. But it proves that what you're seeing is what is happening. I have the same 2 trees here in the same shot, so you can see. The only thing I'm worried about is that this tarp's too long for that span, but we'll find out. If it is too long, this tarp, I'm just going to use a different couple of trees and we'll reset the camera. Right, there's one side. Now these are jungle knots also, but it's on a Dyneema. So actually there's more scope for these to get tangled than any other system. It's in a snake skin, by the way. It's just a different shape, stuff sack. Some people hate them, some people love them. And to be quite honest, the people who hate them just haven't got a clue what it is, that, you know, how to use them. But right in the center of my snake skin, I think I have 6 pegs. And I'll show you the technique I use to prevent these from tangling in a minute. Let me get it up. That's what she said. Right. What's grabbing me now? I think I've just about got enough room here. Wow. Yes, more or less bang on. You're 2 meters, 4 meters, sorry. It's enough to demonstrate a point, however. Now, I don't have jungle knots on the perimeter. What I have is a single line. connected from the perimeter and then to the ground. About 50% up, I've made a loop and then hooked in a little pin. I'm using the titanium pins. I'm going to move the camera angle again until you can see everything, so you know there's no tomfoolery. I'm using that word a lot today, tomfoolery, I like it. No shenanigans. I have to just reorder the end here. Yeah, it's very tight span, very tight span. I don't really want to swap trees at this late point. Come on, bear with me. Obviously, if I was hammocking with this wouldn't be my choice of tree span here. Looks like everything is tangled. Or has it? Again, I better show you. It looks like spaghetti junction here. Let me be a little delicate and grab the end here, which could be a head end, but I have two here and they're not tangled. It must be tangled somewhere. Let's grab the middle and then just gently bring out the middle two. Well, there's one. Well, that's not tangled either. What about the other one? That must be tangled. That's not tangled. So that only leaves the other end. Let's see if these are tangled. They're not tangled. And yet, I do have the stake connected to the cord, connected to the tarp. Let me just grab a peg at random. I think these middle ones will be easier to show you. There we have it. This is the centre of my tarp. Now mine is elasticated because it's for hammocking. And I have my Dyneema, I think this is 1.75. I have at least 2.5 meters. And then I have this, which is my slip knot. I can make the slip knot bigger. Imagine doing this every time you get to camp, never losing another peg. And I've made a big loop. Peg's still on there, the pin, and I can peg out. And because it is on a slip knot, I'm hitting bricks down here under the soil, but I can now tighten up because it's on a slip knot. Give that tail a pull, tightens the top. So why is it tangling for you or some people and not me? That's because I have magic powers and stuff like that never happens. No, obviously kidding with you. Some of you got no sense of humour. This loop here and the tail, a lot of people have tried now packing it all away, and yes, it's tangled and they never do it again because of this loop. Let me quickly show you this. It's just an ordinary slip knot. I love slip knots for getting tension on tops. Here's how my pin looks, titanium pin. That's the standard red cord there, but that is a baby mitten hook. I don't know if you can see that. It's very, very small. Can't even find the camera lens. A mini baby mitten hook. I just snap that on. Like a tiny little carabiner almost. So that's on. The reason mine never ever tangle is I get that slip knot tail and I pull and I pull and I pull. Watch what's happening. Watch this pin. And it's closed in, closing. There. There's nothing for this pin to get stuck in. Of course, when I want to pitch again, I just open up the loop like you saw. Here's what's happening with a lot of people. If you leave a loop in any cordage like this, there's a good likelihood that your pin will go through the loop, that the pin will go through the loop. That's the only way knots form, is when the tail end goes through a loop. If you had two loose tails and bash them together, they certainly don't knot. They never will. It's impossible. You need a tail through a loop. Don't allow any part of your system to have a loop. Now mine does have a loop, as you saw. It's elasticated loop here, and I'm surprised even it hasn't tangled in that. You know, the pin going through the elastic. So far, it never has. It never has. I've got to be careful how I film things. Bex-Bugoutsurvivor always concentrates on finding you alternatives to the mainstream. But a lot of you haven't got bored of watching mainstream YouTube, so you're not ready to see a different take on the same thing. And if I was to show this in any of my videos, yeah, people do get exceedingly upset that I should disconnect the pins as though it's somehow mandatory. It's not mandatory. Nobody's in charge of me, my friend. This is my kit. I'll do it however the hell I want. And there are people who will still say, even after seeing it, yeah, but that will tangle. Well, no, it won't. Again, you've just seen it with your own eyes. Of course it's not going to tangle. I don't use green screen. Don't use trick photography, smoke and mirrors, stunt men. I just have one camera. I'm just a guy with a camera. I share what I know in hopes it might help somebody somewhere. And remember, if this video is not for you, you won't be the only one watching, because that's another thing I get in the comments. I've already got one of them. I can't possibly see down the camera lens and know what kit you got. Stop being such a muppet. Obviously not you. Looks like you've got a brain in there, have you? Yeah. But the people who've got brains are the ones who subscribe, funnily enough, because they're used to seeing me. They know every time they see me, they're going to get something different to the mainstream. This is different to the mainstream. It will scare some people who are non-subscribers. The sheeple. Usually the people who are subscribed to me are not sheeple. They like to see an idea or watch it develop, try it for themselves. And if they don't like it, they don't have to use it. I never force anyone to use any of my ideas. In the same way, I'll never beg you at the beginning of videos to subscribe, hit like buttons, the panic button, whatever. Doesn't bother me. Collecting 30 pence ad revenue is not top of my priority. I'd rather share with you for free. The great thing is, I packed up my 4-meter tarp there. I tightened that loop so there was no loop, so the pin can't fit through a loop. See? No pin through the loop. And I can pack down exceedingly quickly without having to do a head count on how many pins I've taken in. And when you're spending 30, 40 quid on 6 pins, you don't want to be losing any. And believe me, people who come out of my night videos know I'll always leave a bit of kit behind, and it's usually the expensive stuff on another camp. I happened to be in the same location and I found some kit that I'd lost from years ago, but it was the cheap kit. This way I keep all my things intact here. Got a snake skin. I brought all the pins to the center of that snake skin. If you have just an ordinary TARP bag, then all you have to do is fold it all in, provided you get that loop closed like that. It can't tangle. Until next time, take care of yourself, and I will see you out there. Happy trails.
It will tangle. I'm going to tell him in the comments. It will tangle.